Time to think rich. Be inspired by personal stories of success. Learn to invest without fear and greed. Ride the latest business trends. Dream big. Dare to be the Philippines' next Bilyonaryo. I'm China Barachina. Follow me. Let's follow the money. Only here on Bilyonaryo Digital.
Sabi nga ni Elon Musk, ang pagbuo ng isang kumpanya ay parang pagbe-bake. You have to have all the ingredients in the right proportion. Good afternoon, Reach Takers! Join me for another episode na siguradong punong-puno ng kwento ng tagumpay. At tinapay! I am China Barachina. Follow me and together, let's follow the money. Sino ang mag-aakala na ang simpleng tinapay kagaya ng deep-fried donut ay magiging isang nationwide sensation? Sa dami ng flavors, kulay at brands ng donut ngayon, bakit patok na patok sa masang Pinoy ang kanto-style donut na ito? Pinalamanan ng keso at binudburan ng asukal bago iprito. Alamin kung paano nga ba nagsimula at lumago ang paborito nating Lola sa lahat, ang Lola Nena's at ang kanyang trending triple cheese donuts. This is Big Time, Big as in Business Inspiring Guest.
A kitchen where the air is filled with the aroma of cherished memories, where time slows down and Grandma works her magic. The clinking of pots and pans, the sizzle of something delicious in the oven is a melody that tells stories of generations. As you take that first bite, flavors explode like each bread is a chapter in a recipe book of shared moments and family traditions. A taste of the past, a celebration of the present, and the promise for the future. Be transported to a place where every visit feels like a warm embrace. Welcome home to Lola Nena's. Find out more as we get up close and personal with the woman behind the most trending donut in the Philippines today. This is Big Time.
Hi, Stephy! Welcome to Follow the Money! I'm so glad to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
We are so excited kasi when people are talking about Lola Nenas, they probably are thinking, ang lalabas sa screen, Lola. And then only to think, like, look how pretty she is. To my audience, are really excited to know that, you know, the story about Lola Nena. So, Steffi, first question, is Lola Nena real? Totoo ba siya?
Totoo po si Lola Nena. The myth is
Who
real.
is she?
So Lola Nena is actually my great-grandmother. So she is my dad's Lola. And when my dad and I were opening Lola Nena's, we were thinking of the name for our new store. We only had Pichi Pichi back then, and we wanted to name it to our Lola kasi we wanted the feeling of nostalgic and warm and caring and loving. All the things that you feel when you go to your Lola's house, when you eat your Lola's food. So yun, parang that kind of was the brand idea to begin with. So selling Pichi Pichi, which is a very traditional Filipino item.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Alam mo, nung pandemic, I will munch on like a box of, like half of it will be mine. The toasted siopaw pa because I'm trying to cut down my sugar. Pero yung toasted siopaw, hindi ko talaga matagalan. Our producers also saying, and our researcher, shout out kay Sai, who contacted you. I really am glad that she did. Sila rin, addict sila sa Pichi Pichi. So Steffi, having said that na totoo si Lola, it's Sir Lola, when did this business start?
So it started in 2012. My dad and I just ended a restaurant business that lasted less than 1 year. So we failed in business, but as true blue entrepreneurs, we're like, we're gonna do it again. We can do it again. And so we opened Lola Nena's in 2012 without a name muna. So we had the product. We had Peachy Peachy, which is our very first product. And we were thinking, ano kaya yung ipapangalan natin dito sa maliit na takeout restaurant natin? And we thought of Lola Nena's. We thought of Lola Nena because she is my dad's grandmother, my great-grandmother. She taught my dad how to cook. She taught even my mom how to cook. And she just emanates like warmth, care, love, everything that you feel when you go to your Lola, everything that you feel when you eat at your grandparents' house. So that's kind of the feeling that we wanted our customers to feel when they visit our stores.
And even your Lola's name is really nostalgic. Like Nena is like a very Filipino.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not
We're
intimidating.
very, very proud of our heritage. And growing up in the States, parang it's always like Filipino pride. So it's nice to have Lola Nena's as the name of our brand and also have and champion Filipino cuisine.
Nice. So, can you take us through your personal journey and how did you become part of this company?
Yeah, I grew up in the States. My parents had restaurants. So I worked at their restaurant as a cashier, a waitress, a bus lady, bus boy, and I worked on the line. So I cooked for a few years, working in their two restaurants. So parang growing up, I really thought of myself as a restaurateur. I saw myself as a restaurateur. I really looked up to my parents. They seem to like what they do. I liked working in a restaurant. So I thought, I think this is for me. When we moved to the Philippines and nagsirado yung first restaurant na binuksan namin, it was the very first business that I was actually a partner of. And it was the very first business that I failed in. And for a few months, I was just crying in my room. I was very, very sad. And my dad said, oh, bakit ka umiiyak? As somebody that's used to having failed businesses, sabi niya, bakit ka umiiyak? And I was like, huh? Like, we just failed so hard. Like, we thought we worked so hard on it, and then we failed. It wasn't enough. Working hard was not enough. And then he was like, maybe you're not meant for entrepreneurship. Maybe baka hindi ka entrepreneur. And so it was like no, I don't think so. Parang naging parang a fire.
Reverse psychology.
Reverse psychology. Nag-work yung reverse psychology niya. Or maybe he really meant that na parang, in entrepreneurship or in business, you really need to have tough skin. You need to be okay with failing. You need to be okay with making mistakes. Otherwise, wala na. And because that's the sort of thing that happens that every hour, every day, that sort of thing happens. So you have to be okay with it.
So it's like the maturity came early for you because of, know, how you grew up with and you really like what you're doing. Diba?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, maturity comes with age and experience, but the more experience you have when you're younger, of course, wala kang choice. You need to figure it out. Yeah.
And then, you know what, Steffi, you are all here in, in the sense of business na, like from the get-go. Who are you outside Lola Nena's?
Because Lola Nena's is a family business now. So even when I'm outside of Lola Nena's, I'm always with my family. So our family is really close. So even outside of Lola Nena's, we're kind of living in this Lola Nena bubble of like our life revolves around it. But outside of it, it's still connected to Lola Nena's, but I love learning. I love putting myself in situations where I can learn. I love putting myself in situations where I'm a little bit uncomfortable. So a story that, if that's okay, if it's okay with you, a story that I can share with you is a few months ago, I just came from a course in Stanford University. So it's a strategy and leadership course. And all my classmates were executives from like Fortune 500 companies, really, really big companies with thousands of employees. So I looked at the roster before starting class and I was very, very intimidated because these are executives, directors of companies that we all know and international companies. So I felt like this little fish from the Philippines coming into this big Ivy League school na parang, oh my God, I'm so scared. But I also knew that I needed to put myself in this uncomfortable position to grow.
I can
And-
imagine, but
But it's so scary.
that you're- but you know, it's a proud feeling too that you're Miss Philippines. Like you represent the country.
Also youngest, and I was also the youngest person in the class. So parang people have been working 30 years in their field, and it's like fields from space exploration and finance and like fuel, and it's like really big industries, and I'm just like peachy girl, like the girl coming into
But
it.
they don't know what pichi pichi is, and that's, you know, they can bring it to their place.
But it's amazing because we were talking about strategy and we were talking about leadership, and I noticed that their problems were very similar to my problems as a business leader, as an entrepreneur. A lot of our problems are the same, which gave me a little bit of comfort. It gave me comfort kasi parang we're different, coming from different places, but we're kind of all just figuring it out, and that's okay, and that's normal. And so
The
it gave me,
thinking,
yeah,
the thinking is like if they're big, you will think that, you know, parang
You know
na-figure
what you're
out na
doing.
nila yung buhay and
exactly,
business.
yeah.
And it is
But and also,
refreshing.
they're coming from these huge companies, but here they are going out of their way and spending weeks of their life studying and also putting themselves in uncomfortable situations. So parang if they're doing it with all their experience, I need to keep on doing it too.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And what are the best things that, you know, that you've discovered to this like big business people? On top of your head.
A lot of things about business and work is about culture. Is about the culture that you build inside your business. And if you're able to build a culture that matches your brand and a culture that matches your working style as a leader, everything becomes a lot easier. So if you work in a place and the culture is all about helping each other and doing things as a team and not hindi walang politics, walang pabida, then everything becomes smooth and everything's matching the vision and the mission and the values of the company. So as a leader, you have to be the culture builder. You have to be the one that is leading everybody to the same culture. So I can't be like, all of us, let's all be at work on time, and then I'll be late. So
Yeah.
as a leader, we have to be the one that's championing our own culture. And not a single person in the company will say, oh, our boss is saying you have to be kind, but she's so mean. so the culture
Exactly.
is mean. Because that's how you are as a leader. And then at the same time, you're not the only leader in the company. So it's like trying to make hawa. So kailangan mong hawaan the other leaders in your company to be the same. Para everybody is aligned. Everybody is tuhog. No matter if you go to Lola Nena's in Imus or you go to Lola Nena's in Tarlac.
Though you have a culture that is one focusing on your values, that's really refreshing to hear. And
That's hard
you
to
know,
do. It's very difficult.
it is simple, but yet it's hard to do.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of the law of leadership by John Maxwell. When they say the law of influence in terms of, you know, and the law of the lead, wherein if your leader can grow higher than if he continues to grow, if the leader continues to grow, then the whole people, all of the people in the corporate world, in that corporate setting, will also grow, because you can only grow until where your leader is growing.
Yeah.
So it's
the leader needs to have, like, the leader needs to have a big enough growth and vision so that everybody's vision can go inside that vision, and it's continuously growing, so everybody is continuously growing. I really believe in that, and like trying to multiply the people around you. So instead of diminishing everybody's capacity, as a leader, you're like, you can see, it feels the best when you can see that everybody's getting better.
Yeah.
Ang sarap ng feeling, sobra. Yeah.
And Steffi, correct me if I'm wrong, pero nung sumikat ang Lola Nena, it's in NCR. And then,
Yes.
kalat na kalat na yung Lola Nena's branches here sa Metro Manila. Pero marami pa din kayong branches sa mga provinces, right? And
So in the past year, we opened a few branches outside of Metro Manila. So in the north, we have Tarlac, we have Angeles, Pampanga, San Fernando, Pampanga, and Malolos, Bulacan. In the south, we have Tagaytay, Imus, and we're opening one actually in Silang, Cavite, this month, or hopefully this month, maybe next month.
ayan, mga taga Cavite lagi na-feature dito sa
We
Follow
have
the
also
Money.
we have one more. I forgot the branch, kawawa naman sila. Noveleta.
Oh, yeah! Okay, marami pala kayo sa Cavite.
Yeah.
So, paano ba siya nag-trending? Like, what was the story behind the trending product of Lola Nena's? Kwento mo naman sa amin on how it became a trend. And
So-
nagulat ka ba? Was it something that you've seen
Yeah.
coming?
No. So in 2020, when the craziest times of our life happened, the COVID, the pandemic, everybody was very scared. And we were also very scared kasi food industry we're frontliners. And a lot of people did not know what COVID was. We didn't know. It was very scary to be outside. But we knew that we could not afford to close. And so we stayed open with a skeletal workforce. And because we had a skeletal workforce, we were forced to cut down our menu. So a little bit of background on Lola Nena's. We were actually a corner bakery. So lahat binibenta namin from pandesal, pan de coco, Spanish bread. The donut just happened to be one of the products we had. Nakakagutom. One of the products we had in that bakery lineup. And when the pandemic happened, we were forced to cut down our menu. So pinili na lang namin yung pinaka bestsellers namin. Nasa tingin namin. The donut was actually not a bestseller at that time. It was just one of the items we had. But we really liked it. We really liked it. So parang as a family, we're like, we have to keep the donut. Kasi not a lot of people know about it, but we really like it. So I think people should try it. So it was the Siopaw, the Peachy Peachy, and the donut. And because we were onboarded in delivery apps like Grab, and all the other restaurants were closed, for the first time, we had a chance to be seen. So yung mga tao, na hindi kilala si Lola Nena's, pagbukas nila ng Grab app, delivery app, nakita nila, oh, it's only Lola Nena's and like maybe 2 other restaurants. And back then, diba, parang everybody was scared. So everybody was just trying to order online. And we were lucky that our restaurant was really a takeout restaurant. So we were built. Parang strategy, parang you knew that the pandemic was gonna happen. We were built to be takeout. And all our branches were outside of malls. So ang dali puntahan ng people, dali puntahan ng motorcycle. So it was just a perfect setting for us. It was a perfect setting for us. And so people started trying it and people started giving us a chance. And then more and more people, and it was the busiest we've been since we opened 2012. So 2020, it was like, oh my God, pandemic, nobody was outside, but it's the biggest, it's the most sales that we've ever had. And
wow.
So, yeah, grabe. As in, grabe siya. And then
you
when...
were thinking of survival, pero it was the time that you boom. Diba?
It was survival, like, kung mag-close tayo, we're not gonna survive. So we have no choice. And we also have to do it for our people. And so it was a time when my dad and my brother would actually, or me, would pick up our staff from their houses kasi walang commute. May meeting point, we would pick them up, drop them off the store. At the end of the night, pick them up, drop them off. So for a few months, that's what we were doing because there was no transportation. And then at some point, people started posting. So this one guy posted in What's Your Ulam Pare?
Oh, okay.
He posted it on Facebook. So the food Facebook pages. And then he posted the classic donuts. And the classic donuts, if your viewers have not tried, it's a old-fashioned donut inspired by Bicho Bicho. So parang
I like Bicho Bicho.
Around Bicho Bicho with cheese inside. So yun, parang people started ordering because that post became viral to the point where, all of us, me, my mom, my brother, we all had to be answering the phones to get orders, answering sa Facebook to get orders. And we had a backlog of orders for weeks. So if you order now, this was March, April, mga April or May. If you order now, you will get your donuts within 3 weeks. So imagine people were reserving and like, yes, I'm willing to wait 3 weeks. Parang, are you sure? just bicho-bicho. Do you know what I mean? Kasi in our eyes, parang this is our
Wow!
bicho-bicho donut. Like, sure ba kayo? And then, so, lots of people started ordering it, but I think they had expectation of having a lot of cheese inside. And we got a lot of feedback na parang, oh, si Lola Nena's cheese donut, parang konti ng cheese inside. When the classic donut naman talaga only has a little bit, one layer of cheese. So that's when the triple cheese donuts were born. Really from complaints and also customer feedback.
Well, speaking of post, Steffi, may isa kayong nag-viral na post talaga eh. Yung about sa job posting and hiring requirements. Kwento mo naman sa amin what that about. Sino nakaisip nun?
So I was actually in Stanford. So I was in Stanford when that happened. And I remember, I was after class, nakita ko, nag-trending yung potato corner. Nag-trending yung potato corner post. And I saw it, and I saw the potato corner, and I said, oh, that's so horrible. That's so horrible because it was just a franchisee that posted it. It had no connection with the franchisor of Potato Corner. And a mistake of one franchisee or a mistake of one person can taint a brand so much. So it was night in San Francisco. I immediately called my HR team and I was like, can I see our job posts? I was like, can I see our job posts? Kasi in Lola Nena, since we opened, honestly, any rank and file, we do not look for special schooling. You don't need to be graduated in high school or college. You don't need to have work experience. You don't even need to you can have tattoos. Like, we've always just hired for attitude.
Nice. Oh my God. Can I get
From day one, we hired for attitude. And so I was like, iniisip ko, paano alam natin yun internally? Pero sasabi ba natin yun out loud? Sinasabi ba natin yun sa job postings natin? Are we able to communicate who we are as a company internally? And so we looked at all our job postings, and our job postings were so corny, like looking for ganyan, the typical job posting na parang, how come we don't share to people what we actually stand for? And so at night, I wrote that job posting. So I wrote that job posting in San Francisco, and I called my graphic artist at the time, and I said, I know it's a holiday in Manila. I remember it was Monday, it was a holiday. But I was like, I need you to get this out. I need you to finish this pub, make it, and I need us to post it. Kasi it's like, I don't know, parang something about me felt like we need to show what we stand for. And also we need to show that, hey, there are businesses out there that actually don't feel this way, that actually have space for everybody as long as you have the correct attitude and mindset. But I didn't know that it would be that viral. Honestly, I didn't know at all. So when we posted it, nagulat na lang ako that we on TikTok, we had millions of views. People started talking about it. It had so many shares. And we had a hard time. At that time, we had 60 plus or almost 100 vacant positions. And all of a sudden, we were getting an influx of people applying. And so it's kind of like a lesson also of like following your gut and also communicating to the people who you are. Because sometimes we have the curse of knowledge na, yes, maybe everybody knows that we are inclusive here in Lola Nenas. But in reality, nobody knows. Right? Nobody knows anything unless you communicate it to them. So exactly. that was a really good lesson for us. And it just so happened to work out. So that was nice.
I'm actually like trying to look at it right now. So ito yun, sa mga doon sa, I know that it got viral, but this is the one that we're referring to. Tama ba, Stephy?
So I was in my dorm room in San Francisco when I wrote this. And hindi ako makatulog talaga kasi parang hindi ako makapayag na yung values na ginagawa natin araw-araw, hindi natin sinasabi out loud. And so I wrote this, we posted it within a few hours of me writing it, and then it went viral.
That's very nice. And it's, you know, in the world of entrepreneurship, sometimes nabubulag tayo sa numbers at bottom line. And that is like sad. We lose the purpose of doing it, of why we're doing it. That's why I like diba? Simon Sinek is always very particular with that. It came to a point that he was doing all these things, he was striving, and then yet he didn't feel anything because there's no purpose to it. And you lived by that, even as the simplest way of posting the requirements for what kind of culture you want to build with.
You know, the thing, I think for me, the biggest thing, aside from, of course, getting that recognition from other people, I think the biggest thing for me was when our employees started sharing it and then also giving their experience with the brand and saying, Lola Nanas is really like this. This is my experience with the brand. And reading, like, I remember just like being in class, I was super maga yung eyes ko, because I just remember reading a lot of employees parang stories with the brand, and them just supporting the brand and them also being incredibly proud. There's something about like your employees being proud of where they work and being happy of where they work that is just so fulfilling as a leader. And I think I can't imagine wanting to do anything else.
That's really nice to hear. It's really nice to hear. Gusto ko maiyak. I didn't expect this, guys. So for you, Stephy, what's the right ingredients for success? And like in baking, you think na may sukat yan, bawat ingredient. I cannot bake because when I cook, hindi ko yan sinusukat. So I'm the opposite of a baker. Ano ang sukat ng ingredients for you? Like 99% perspiration ba talaga yan? 1% inspiration lang ba yan? What it is for you? Your message to starting business owners. What's the main ingredient?
I think for me, it's number one, the relentless pursuit of getting better. The relentless pursuit of learning and getting better and not being happy with now and not being content with what you're doing now. Also, discipline. You know, motivation comes and goes. We're always like, oh, of course you have to be motivated and inspired, but you're not always going to be motivated and inspired. So building a discipline of doing your work, building a discipline of putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. So when more uncomfortable situations comes, you're used to it. You're like, I'm so used to being uncomfortable. I got this. And also, of course, empathy. Connecting and understanding all your customers being the people buying from you, but more importantly, your customers meaning your people, because you're doing this every day for the customers that's paying you, but we have 600 people that spend majority of their lives with us. So it's important for us in Lola Nenas to think about them. Because if we think about them, they're also going to think about us in return. And in return, the customers are going to be happy. The business is going to be profitable. Because dumadating na lang yung sales eh. If everybody is on the same page like this, dadating na lang siya, and that's how we feel in Lola Nena.
I can see this business grow 1,000-fold with having that kind of character. Now let's jump into the funny and funny part of this segment. Let's go to Fast Talk. So are you familiar with Fast Talk, Steffi?
I am not.
This is on top of mind. I'm going to ask you a question, whatever it is that comes to your mind, no right or wrong answer.
I go.
All right. So number one, when starting a business, how do you make decisions? Do you follow your heart or mind over matter?
It always has to be both. Follow your gut, but also be smart. Both.
What stresses you out?
Oh my gosh, people. When I cannot connect with people and if I can't understand them, then that stresses me.
Do you know your Myers-Briggs?
I don't. I don't know.
I think you're an extrovert. You can test and tell me. How do you distress?
Oh my gosh, I go to the beach. Kailangan nature.
What's the best beach place for you?
Siargao or Coron.
Oh my God. Most important lesson that Lola Nena or any Lola taught you?
Love. Always should.
Okay. Fast off. No explaining. Most important lesson is love. Next, what are the first 3 things you do after you get out of bed every morning?
I check my phone, I shower, and I double cleanse my face.
Oh, okay. Look at her naman kaya, guys. What keeps you awake at night?
I don't. I close my eyes and I'm asleep.
Oh, wow. I wish I'm like that. Okay, ito na. May mga maraming nag-aabang ito for sure. Single or taken?
Single.
Ooh, bakit? Next, do you believe in marriage or tingin mo gastos lang yon? If yes, what are the top 3 tipid tips sa mga young professionals na magpaplanong magpakasal at bumuo ng family?
Yes, I believe in marriage. I think you don't have to have a big wedding. Just invite your closest family and friends, and you don't need to spend on anything. Go to a small church because marriage is all about love, like what I said.
Sobrang nakakatuwa ka. Top 3 things that you haven't achieved yet or check in your bucket list.
Oh my gosh. I'm scared of heights, so I really want to jump off a plane so I can get rid of my being scared of heights. I would love to get married, of course, and have children.
So don't think of Lola Nena for a while and then date. So here's the last question. It doesn't necessarily, it's not necessarily true. It was taken from the context of a Bible verse, but complete the sentence in the way that you believe it. Money is the root of all blank.
Ease. Money is the root of ease.
Thank you so much, Steffi. Now we are down to the last part of our big time. Sobrang iksi ng oras if you're having fun, but this is...
I can talk to you for a long time.
So this is the last part is Money Fest. This is 3 essential tips that you want to give to our audience today.
Okay.
All right.
3 tips. I need to give 3 tips. Okay,
Yes.
Number 1, pay things in cash. Don't use your card. So pay things in cash. If you want to buy a car, save up until you can afford that car. Number 2, cook at home. You don't need to go out and eat all the time. So learn how to cook. Cooking is so therapeutic and you know what you're eating. Money tips. And lastly, go into business and be smart about it because you will really reap the reward.
Thank you so much, Steffi. I know na habang nanonood ang viewers natin today, mamaya nag-order na yan sa Grab. And you know what? Oo, alam ko, nararamdaman ko kasi ako nga iniisip ko yun eh. Thank you so much. And there you have it. Steffi of Lola Nenas.
Kinabahan ako sa laptop. Thank you so much.
I'll see you soon. I want to see you in person.
Yes, let's meet, please.
Yeah, bye. Business is the key to multiply your regular salaries. Pero paano kung hindi ka pa ready mag-start from scratch ulit? What if hindi pa kaya ng oras mong mag-commit sa pagnenegosyo? Don't worry because you can always invest in existing companies through the stock market. Anong stock ba ang bibilin today? Yan ang sasagutin ng isa sa mga fearless forecast guest natin today. Let's find out. Ayan, sir! Spyfrat, welcome to Fearless Forecast and thank you for coming back to Lola Nena.
Thank you very much. Thank you for welcoming me again, Ma'am Chen. Second time around with no balbas.
Ay, oo nga, nag-shave si sir para sa atin. So, sir, what's your Fearless Forecast, Spyfrat?
Okay, beforehand, no, I would like to present some slides kasi dati, nung nag-first guesting tayo, parang it's too little lang to explain myself, no? So, topic natin ngayon is about basic trading psychology. What composes basic trading psychology? Okay po. So, next slide po, ma'am. So, trading psychology, no, refers to the emotional and mental factors that influence the trader's decision, no? One example of trading psychology is the phenomenon. Ito yung fear and greed factor which can significantly impact investment decision. So there are actually many kind of trading psychology, but we're going to tackle fear and greed sa ngayon. Okay, for now. So for example, no, next slide please. Imagine you've invested in stocks, no, stock market, and shortly after you invested, the market experienced a turmoil. For example, bumaba yung investment mo. So you notice a lot of loss in your value sa investment. This situation triggers emotional responses. So ano yun? For example, fear. So since natalo ka, you start to worry about losing money. So if you're married and you start thinking about it, baka sabihin ni Mrs. ano yung pinag-iisipan ng husband ko, hindi siya makatulog, hindi siya makakain. So if you're single naman, akala mo in love ka lang, hindi makatulog, hindi makakain, but definitely you're afraid of the market, that you might fear big losses will continue to mount, ika nga. So the fear that prompts you to make impulsive decision, such as selling your stock in a panic, no? On the other hand, sa greed naman, if the market is performing well and your stock is on the uptrend trend, umaakyat, you might as well feel a sense of euphoria. O baka aakyat na to, so hindi ko muna i-sell. So greed can lead to overconfidence and willingness to take more risk. So baka yung, remember the phenomenal rise of Double Dragon? IPO price was 2 pesos.
Oh
so
my
the stock
God, that's a good memory for me.
is a very classic example of how greed, no? So people who bought the IPO at 2 pesos, umakyat sa 8, umakyat sa 10 pesos. And I know a couple of investors who still holding its IPO price. So the stock price of Double Dragon went to 20, went to 30, went to 40, and even to the 80 peso level. So after nun, lumagsak 70, 60, 50. Now initially, the initial reaction ng investor, ayaw yung magbenta, no, because of greed. And because he or she already saw the stock price of DD went to as high as 80 pesos. So parang yung 50 peso na bumagsak yung stock price, ayaw niya na. Kasi nag-80 na eh. So wait pa ng konti. So hanggang the stock price falls to 40, 30, 20, hanggang 10 pesos, hanggang ngayon, still hindi na naibenta because of greed, no? So they may cause you hold onto a winning position. For example, full to long. So hindi kailangan long-term investment so much mo. If we see the potential price, no, the stock went up for 2 years to a high of 80 pesos, no, even 50 pesos, dapat benta na rin natin. So another example is Mary Mart, 1 peso naging 8 peso, and now it's back to the current 1 peso level. So parang sayang. Okay? So next slide, please. So both fear and greed can cloud judgment, no? As I said earlier, an example, no? And they lead to poor decision making. So successful investors often emphasize the importance of maintaining discipline, rational approach rather than succumbing to emotional impulses. So dapat meron kayong strategies that setting clear investment goals, yung realistic na goal. So hindi yung 5,000 mo magiging 1 million in a year or two. So dapat realistic, no? Okay, so diversify your portfolio as well and having a risk management. Now, these words, no, are easier said than done. Saka ang hirap i-implement. Yes, okay. So understanding and managing your own trading psychology is very, very crucial aspect of long-term investment in the stock market. So dapat you know yourself. Alamin mo muna kung hanggang saan ka. Okay? So next slide, please. Okay, when you should invest. Okay, doon na papasok yung trading psychology natin. So when you're ready, readiness means how equipped you are in stock market investing. So meron ka bang basic knowledge about stock market investing o wala pa? So kung wala pa, you better start studying, no? Like basic lang muna. Kasi if you wanted to know it all, kahit ako hindi ko know it all hindi ka maka-invest kasi dapat muna lahat alamin mo. So you start from the very beginning, start from the basics, start from the scratch ika nga. Okay, then have a steady source of investable funds. So hindi pwede yung one time lang, deposito ka ng 5,000 or 10,000 pesos, tapos you buy a single stock and wait for it hanggang maging 1 million. So hindi pwede yon. So, by means of investable funds, dapat continue to invest. Good or bad market, okay? So, favorable market conditions. Kasi sabi nga nila, kung bull market, all tides are being lift up, no? So, lahat umakyat halos. But, reverse market such as now will bring the best of you. So, do not test yung patience mo, yung discipline, kung kaya mo yung risk na that's being given by the market. Okay, so the first markets will test you to the fullest. Okay, ika nga. So next please.
Akala ng mga tao, when you say stock market, it's just about the money. They don't know that 80% of it is actually psychology. And thank you for
Indeed.
bringing this today, Sir Spyfrat.
Very true indeed. Okay, how to become a successful stock market investor, no? So dapat we have this thing called excellent emotional maturity. It doesn't mean you're in your 20s or 30s or even your senior years, no? For example, 60 and above, you have emotional maturity na hindi. Kasi in my own example, I got various clients na example, kumita sa isang stock. Magyayayaan kumain, things like that. Okay. Kasi sobrang hyper kasi kumita. And there are investors as well that their investment goes down. Yung well-being nila is getting affected. Hindi na siya makatulog. Like for example, I mentioned earlier, hindi na makakapagtrabaho ng mabuti. No? Minsan galit palagi, things like that. If your stock is down and your wife wanted to cuddle you, huwag mo down yung stock mo. Okay, diba? Okay, be an informed investor. Ang meaning nun is that dapat sa mga companies na binili mo or bibilihin pa lang, you know what companies you're buying, no? So minsan may nakikita ako, people are talking about stock that they bought this one, they bought stock like that one. And when you ask about ano bang business nun, hindi niya alam. Okay, so dapat be informed investor tayo. Kahit mo lang know how successful the company is, kumikita ba siya ng income, kumikita ba yan, that the company gives you dividend, no? So dapat you are informed investors, yes, okay. So discipline, no? So dapat we have this thing we call discipline and patience. Although both are positive traits, no, for being stock market investor, sometimes discipline and patience leads to negative. In a way that, for example, you are a disciplined trader, so you are hesitant to buy at the price that is not yet right for you. Okay, so for example, the stock drops to 1 peso, and your buying price is at around 90 centavos. So you are well disciplined enough na hindi mo siya bibilhin, right, at 1 peso. But the market only pull back to a certain level that is not in your level. So minsan you're getting hesitant na rin. So, and patience, sabi nila, patience is a virtue, no? But when you hold too long for a certain stock, like for example, basura stock, okay, your patience is actually being tested. So for example, you bought a mining stock. Imagine mining stock haven't performed very well, no? In fact, they are in the negative territory, I think, no? Since the start of Pinoy and Duterte administration. So, bagsak yung mga mining stocks natin. So,
dahil hindi sila favorable.
Yes, hindi sila favorable. So, dapat i-align din natin yung patience na yan sa tamang stock and tamang environment. Okay. And you need as well a proven strategy. Proven strategy is only for you, not for others. What might be a proven strategy for Jet is not profitable to me, no? Depende yun sa tao. So dapat you have your own proven strategy and you harness that kind of strategy, you master it, na at the back of your head, alam mo na yung gagawin mo. Okay, and lastly, listen to your elders' advice, not because they are always right, but because, for example, elder ako, I have more experiences of being wrong. So, first and foremost, if you ask me for any advice, I would gladly tell you, oy, wag kang ganon. Wag kang magsugal. Oh, for example, because I've been there. And look, dati na simplang na ako dyan. So we have this kind of experiences to share to the new investor the kind of ropes that dapat ganito yon and the things that we need to avoid. Okay, so if the market goes bullish or bearish, at least you have basic knowledge on how to navigate it. No, hindi lang magaling kang mag-perform on a bullish market, but how you navigate bearish market as well. Kung paano mo employ yung cash mo or paano mo i-sideline muna and observe the market performance or direction. Okay? So right now, we're going to talk for this forecast stock pick, no? I have in mind ICT because it broke up its recent high. Outlier sa kumbaga in this kind of market environment. Meron nag 52-week high na blue chip, no? And it was ICTSI of Enrique Rason. So parang wow, no? But if bullish market pa, baka nasa stratosphere na yon. Okay, medyo high pa. Okay, so I kind of like right now a real estate investment trust, yung Mega World MRET. Despite the fact na the rates right now is not doing good, but if you do the math, no, it will give you a yield of around 8 to 8.3% dividend yield, considering the stock price is currently down from almost 50% from its historical high, nearing 24 pesos. So sa chart makikita mo, almost 24 yung high and the stock price is currently trading at 12 pesos, no? 12 low 12 pesos. So parang pwede na siya. And then the fundamentals is also very good, no? And quarterly, the stock gives you dividend. Sabi ko nga 8 to 8.3% yung dividend yield dyan sa ngayon. Okay, but there is a stock pick that I wanted you to I would like to impart to all the listeners and viewers of Bilyonaryo TV. Okay.
Oh my
yung
gosh.
Yung stock pick.
Ito na.
Yes, the perfect stock. Okay.
Wow.
Kayo yung perfect stock. Yes. So you need to educate yourself so that you'll be able to, sabi ko nga, to understand better how the stock market works and how to navigate despite kung nandito tayo ngayon sa bear market cycle. So you need to invest in yourself. You need to have those character traits that we mentioned earlier. Be patient, no? With your performance. Kung wala kang gawin, sometimes nasa sideline is the best position right now. You accumulate little by little. And sabi nila, when is the good time to start? No, habang maaga, habang bata pa. Okay, so I guess that's it. Ang bilis.
Thank you, Sir Spyfrat. Actually, alam mo naman ang tradisyon natin dito.
Yes.
So after we will do a meme. So we will share a meme and then you tell us the wisdom behind this meme.
Okay, the wisdom. Okay, the stock market
is going down.
down.
So I'll just wait here.
Okay, earlier sabi ko, no, one of the character traits dapat is we have patience, no, in this game. So kumbaga, if hawak mo currently right now is not so good stock, like for example, may tatawag kaming mga basura, no? It's been years already, more than 10 years that there's no movement on speculative or third liner stocks. Parang walang laro. So if you happen to have a position there and you are just hoping, by the way, hope is not a strategy, then the meme is suggest that yun, tumanda ka na hanggang maging skeleton ka na, hindi pa umakyat yung hawak mo. And the stock keeps on dropping. So dapat i-align rin natin yung patience natin and discipline to the kind of environment that we're currently in. Yun pa.
Thank you, Sir Spyfrat. Always a pleasure to have you here with us. And I know na maraming natutunan. Like, basic trading psychology sometimes is being overlooked by most of the, the ones that starting in the market. They don't know. It's just, kala nila add and minus lang. But the truth be told, I was once told by by my mentor that it's 80-20. 80% is psychology and 20% is strategy. Shout out to EKL, Edward Lee. Yeah, he was the one who
Yes.
taught me that. So, thank you so much, Sir Spyfrat. I think it's gonna be helping a lot of traders. Especially, we need to be reminded, even those na seasoned traders here in the Philippines or whatnot, it can also be applied when you're trading cryptocurrency, might be, stocks outside. It's all applicable. Thank you, Sir Spyfrat.
Thank you po. Nice to be back.
Parang baking talaga ang buhay. Lahat may sukat, hindi pwedeng sumobra sa tamis, hindi rin pwedeng kulang sa alat. Too much of everything is bad. Masama ang sobrang katamaran. Pero masama rin ang sobrang kasipagan. Hindi pwedeng hustle, hustle, hustle lang. Hindi rin pwedeng puro fun, fun lang. Balanse lang dapat lahat. Masahin mo lang masahin ang pangarap mo na hanggang sa tuluyan ng umalsa. So, parang nagbe-bake ka, di ba? Pagkatapos mong mamasa, kailangan mong magpahinga. Kahit sa steak, ginagawa yan, di ba? When you cook a steak, kailangan mong i-rest and then cook it again. Because you know what makes the dough rise and what makes the steak good is rest. I am China Barachina. Follow me, follow your dreams, and the money will follow right after. Thank you and God bless you guys. See you on the next episode, Rich Takers.